This young man played his flute while watching over some unattended sheep and feeding them. When no one came to claim the animals, he went to the nearest town, sold a few sheep, bought what he needed, and settled down peacefully with the rest. Nearby lived a cruel king who ordered people killed if they failed to say, "Bless you," whenever he sneezed. One day, the king sneezed so loudly that it shook the entire town. He sent his soldiers everywhere, forcing people to bow and bless him. When the soldiers reached the shepherd and ordered him to bless the king, the young man refused straight to their faces and said he would do it only if the king gave him his daughter. Shocked by his confidence, the soldiers dragged him before the king. The guy had insane aura, and even standing in front of king, he kept his head high and refused again. Enraged, the king ordered him thrown into a pit full of starving pigs. But just as they rushed toward him, the shepherd played his flute, making the pigs dance wildly until they collapsed from exhaustion. The shepherd, just as tired, fell asleep beside them. The next day, the king demanded once more that he bless him. The shepherd refused again, still asking for the king's daughter. Furious, the king threw him into another pit, this one filled with spinning blades, with a single candle burning at the end. Pretending to hesitate, the shepherd asked for time to think. He quietly hung his coat and hat on his crook and hid himself. When the soldiers returned, they saw the crook and believed it was him. They threw it into the pit, the candle went out, and they thought he was dead. But the next morning, they heard him calmly playing his flute again. This time, the king sent him to a tower filled with hungry owls. Once more, the shepherd played his flute, and the owls began dancing until they fell asleep. The shepherd rested beside them until morning. Now completely desperate, the king placed him in a golden carriage and offered him a silver forest. The shepherd refused. Then a golden pond. He refused again. Then a marble palace. Still no. All he wanted was the king's daughter. Left with no other choice, the king finally agreed. At the wedding feast, when the king sneezed, the shepherd began blessing him over and over again without stopping. The king fell to his knees, begging him to stop, and offered him the entire kingdom instead. And that is how the shepherd became king and brought his poor parents to live with him in the palace.